Hello, YouTube. I feel like that's right in my face. How are we going? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday? Yes, happy Tuesday. I just finished hosting my 2-day free live training series, Hack Your Subconscious Mind. So it's broken down into day one is all like the logical techniques, methodology when it comes to your subconscious mind that I teach all of my clients. That is day one, very masculine energy. And day two today is very feminine energy. It's the energetics, it's a bit of a spirituality look on how to really connect mind, body, and spirit when it comes to hacking your subconscious mind. So if you want that for free and to get both of the replays, just go to the show notes below. It should be the very first link that you see. If not, slide into, but I'm pretty sure it is. But if it's not, slide into my DMs over on Instagram at just Pinili, the exact same username as YouTube, and just let me know that you want that free training series. It was so fun. And I'm actually going to share a little part of what I spoke about today when it comes to, is this microphone okay? Let me have a look. Yeah, just doesn't seem too loud when it comes to hacking your subconscious mind. So a big part of today's training was starting off with sharing about the law of assumption. So, the law of assumption, just to keep it super simple, is when you assume something, you attract that into your being. Like you have this deep belief, assumption that it is going to happen. And so, the example that I gave in the training is if you have a test upcoming and you assume that you are confident, that you know the answers, that you are going to walk away from the test and feeling really good about it and like you have succeeded, and you keep playing into that belief, you keep playing into that assumption, more than likely you are going to do really well in the test, versus assuming the test is too hard, or I'm going to get nervous, or I'm going to go blank in the test, or I'm not going to be able to know the answers, or it's going to be too hard. And then you go into, someone over on TikTok said placebo effect. We can call it the placebo effect, right? There's several different ways that I've seen law of assumption really spoken about. Placebo effects work, right? And part of it is because we are training our belief into ourselves. We're training a belief into ourselves. We're embedding it into our system. Something I've spoken about over here on YouTube before is the rise of the lucky girl mindset, or the lucky girl syndrome. All that is the law of assumption. So just assuming you are going to be lucky. It's a very different energy, like going from I am always lucky, why wouldn't something work out for me, everything always works out in my favor, of course it does, versus I'm not lucky, nothing works out for me, why is everything so hard, why do I never get the things that I want in life? See how it's two very different belief systems that you can step into. And one of the biggest keys that I shared today is the repetition, is the consistency. But as an extension to that, I shared two ways that I really teach my clients, like a mindset shifts to step into. And I want to share with you one way that's part of this training. So if you want to learn more about it and go into depth, sign up to Hack. But what I was saying is you need to treat your life as the most important job that you have. A lot of people, especially high achievers, because I work with high achieving women, what I see is they treat their career or business or their relationship or their fitness journey as the most important thing. You need to look at your life as a whole as the most important thing. Everything I do in my business is what I call the woman mastery method. So it's all about mastering yourself as a woman, taking control of your life, building the relationship that you have with yourself. And so what I was saying to this, to kind of link it back to law of assumption and why I brought that up, is if you are assuming that you are the leader of your life, if you are assuming that living your life and creating your life is the most important job, which it is in your life, then you are going to see into fruition all of the things that you truly desire. Is it going to happen like that? Probably not. Maybe some things will. But like I said, it takes consistency. It takes a lot of repetition, because the subconscious mind likes repetition. So a question that I want to pose on to you is, how are you getting more curious? How are you getting more curious about who you are and who you are becoming? That is one of the biggest things that I share with all of my clients, is the curiosity standpoint. A lot of the time, what I see when I do work with my clients is that when they first start with me, there's a lot of like shame, or there's a lot of self-judgment around what they've been doing or what they are currently doing. And I say, take that away, strip that away. We don't need that. There's room to feel any shame that may come up or any judgment, but we don't want to self-impose that. What we instead want to do is look at everything with a sense of curiosity. When we get curious about who we are, why we are doing the things we are doing, it's a much better, cleaner energy. And so what I want you to start to think about, if we kind of link everything I've said together, I wanted to make this like a quick, simple little live, is if you are viewing your life as the most important job, but then you're fusing in the law of assumption, if it's the most important job, what would you assume of yourself? What is the most highest thing? And how to do that is to get really curious about who you currently are and how you are currently living. And then you can start to see if there are things that you can start to pick apart and create as your own. Yeah, if you feel like there's nothing you can do, so what you can. Yeah, and a lot of people believe they do what you can. And this is the thing, is a lot of people actually forget that we have a choice of control over our life. We have, and this is what my woman mastery method is having and creating control in your life. You have a lot more control than you believe. I used to blame everyone and everything for the way that I was feeling, for the choices I was making in my life. I'm not taking away from the fact we've all experienced some form of trauma. Remember, trauma is an umbrella term. It doesn't mean that something dramatic and drastic and heartbreaking has to happen. Trauma can quite literally be you're 15 years old and your parents tell you we're moving state. That can become a trauma versus something I've experienced, a death of a parent at a young age. A lot of people believe like that's the only form of trauma, dramatic things like that. Um, and so, what I want you to believe is like, yes, we have all experienced some form of trauma, but the people who have mastered their life and my clients that I see have fully taken control of their life are the ones that fully assume they have the control. Because guess what? You do. You get to make choices every single day. I had a client call this morning, and in something she said, she literally came in the call and she goes, before you start, I just want to say this is where I'm at. This is the choices that I am making, and I'm consciously aware, and I do not like them. So, what now can we do? What can I do to actually change them and make a shift? Because right now I'm doing this and it's creating this. I'm doing this and it's creating this. These are the things I don't want. And that's what happens when you master yourself. This is why I've created all my methodology, because when you truly are able to witness that, no shame, no judgment. It's just a curiosity. It's like, oh, okay. I'm doing this. I keep choosing this. And sometimes as human beings, we're still having a human experience, where it still may take a few days or a few weeks or a few months. But the more that you do this work, rather than just consuming and, just there's a lot of airy fairy fluffy things out on the internet or things we consume that's like, just do this and you'll live a better life. Part of the work is actually just being super honest with yourself and knowing that you have the control and that you can assume that you are creating the life that you truly desire and the life that you truly want. That, like, when you assume that and when you practice that repetition, things start to happen and things start to focus. It's like, another kind of related example, but when let's say you wake up, right? You wake up, you get out of bed and you stub your toe, right? There's two ways you can react to that. One way you can stub it, you can get really, really angry for a moment and then take a breath and then be like, all right, I'm going to go have a shower and then I'm going to get dressed for work, have breakfast, let's continue. Or versus the other side, the very reactional. So that's a response. We want you to be responding versus reactional, which is stub your toe and then going, F this, F that. Today's going to be the worst day. I knew, like, I'm just bad luck all of the time. And then you get in the shower and then maybe the shower caddy crashes down. And then you start thinking, see, I'm just bad luck. And then you get dressed and you spill your coffee on your shirt and you're like, oh my God, everything happens to me. See, like, the different chaotic energy, that's like very reactional versus responses. And that's another live that I can go about for another day. But just to kind of like wrap this up and to give you everything is start viewing your life as the most important job. And if this has helped you, definitely let me know. Yeah, Murphy's Law. Definitely let me know. So start viewing your life as the most important job. And then I want you to start assuming the very best for you. The very best isn't what I dictate, isn't what something you read in a book. It's like, what is the very best to you, right? It looks different to different people. Something I always get my clients to do is also determine what success means to them. Because to some of my clients, success means making $1 million in a year and having materialistic things. And to other clients, it's living on an isolated farm with 6 dogs and, living off the land, right? Two different varied versions of success, but none is right, none is wrong. So you need to define what your version of success is, create your life as the most important job, right? Doing the things that inspire you, and then assume that everything is working out in your favor, even when you feel it's not. I spoke about this in day 1 of hacks. So again, show notes below, or even leave a comment. I can send you the link to get the replay of day 1 and 2, because I go into depth on this. But what we speak about is law of polarity. You can't experience one without the other. That's just not how the world works. And when you start tapping into this mindset and consciously tapping into it, even when it feels like everything's not working out for you, things are working in accordance with exactly how you were thinking and what you were putting out. What is success? Always refining what success is. Thank you for all of the likes as well. And so I highly recommend, if you love this, go and watch Hack, go learn more, go consume my podcast. If you're watching here on YouTube, you can watch all of my podcasts on YouTube, or you can go listen to them, iTunes, Spotify, wherever. But that's really a starting point, and being able to know that you have full control over your life, being able to understand that you get to make choices every single day. And I work with high achieving, success driven women, and even sometimes they're very, very ambitious. They want to create these big visions and big legacies, but even sometimes they lose their way in how they're doing that. And it's these methodologies and the things I share in the free training that really help. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining over on TikTok, everyone for joining here on YouTube. If you love this, definitely let me know. Hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and get yourself into the free training. I really appreciate every single one of you, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye.